Hi, welcome. I'm going to just go through some of the setup tips really briefly, and then we'll go ahead and show you how I photograph snowflakes. And there's already a setup video, but I know some of you haven't seen it, so we'll go ahead and talk this really quickly. So one of the most important things is you're going to need to keep your body heat to yourself. And that means gloves, that means a mask. You don't want to be breathing on the snowflakes. You're going to be working really closely with them, so you don't want to breathe and have them melt. And that's a pretty frustrating thing for beginners. It's the temperature, and sometimes you get really excited, but it's like right at 32 degrees and they're melting. So you're more watching them melt than actually getting to photograph them. And that can be pretty frustrating, but you definitely don't want the melting to be your fault because you're breathing on them. So make sure you have a scarf or a mask, something that's preventing you from being the reason why they're melting. And then you're going to need a macro lens, whether you are using a big expensive camera or just your cell phone, you're going to need a macro lens. Some cell phones do advertise they have a macro lens inside, but a lot of times you'll want an additional macro to clip over your cell phone camera lens, and just make sure that it is seated on there properly so that you're getting good magnification. Okay, and also I like to use, this is picture frame glass. I just go ahead and I'll walk out in a minute and I'll catch the snowflakes on this piece of glass. And then I like to have it propped up, and I just have some styrofoam that I prop that up on just so that light can get underneath the snowflakes and you can see the detail of the snowflakes. I use picture frame glass because it's shatter resistant. I mean, it's not shatterproof, but it's shatter resistant, and I'm less likely to cut myself. When you're really cold, you might not be aware that you're cutting yourself. So that's something you really need to take it into account, especially if you're working with kids. You need to be aware of the tools that you're using. My background that I'm using today is actually some gift wrap. You can see on one side it's actually gold. The other side is the silver shiny side. And especially at night when I'm working with a flashlight, I get a really cool bokeh effect with this. So I like to use that. During the day, it's usually much more subtle. Let's see. So you can see, I'm not sure how well you can see it on camera actually. I'll put my lens on and see if you can see it better. Kind of zoom in on it without the macro lens. Okay, here's the snowflake that we caught at 1x, and I'll go ahead and zoom in. It's at 1.7 with the 15x magnification. 2.6 with the 15x. That's probably about as close as I'm going to get without losing it off the screen. As you can tell, there's definitely a large variation in the size of the snowflakes. So I want to point out that as the snowflakes are falling, obviously they're going to interact with each other. So it's not unusual to find that there'll be little bits and pieces either attached to or next to the snowflakes. Right now we're going through a 15x macro lens and I'm at a 2.2 zoom. You see as I zoom out, this is at 1.1 right there. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And now I'm at 3.2, 3.9. This one obviously I would be able to go in off the screen. I'm going to try to zoom right in on that diamond in the middle. So this is at 5x. Just so you can kind of see that, the detail in there. Okay, since the snowflakes are so small, I went in and got my 25x macro lens to the clip on over my cell phone. So this is what this one looks like. It's about 18 degrees Fahrenheit right now. I'm just gonna zoom out so you can see. This is what it looks like. just barely over. If I zoom all the way out, it'll go black. But so it's a 1.2 times magnification on the video. And this is at 5 times magnification with that 25 times macro lens. So as you can see, when the wind blows the gift wrap, it changes my background. Changes the bokeh effect in the background because of the wrapping paper that's there, the gift wrap. So a lot of times I do turn off the autocorrect on my camera. It's a little bit harder on the video. I have some anti-vibration on the video. It's still it's very hard to keep it super slow, this magnification, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what it's like.